So the first ever Alephium ASIC miner has just been released, and it is insanely profitable, especially considering it is just a small box miner using barely any power that, well, basically anyone can run at home. But is it too good to be true, and what does the future for this thing actually look like? Well, the point of this video isn't to convince you for or against buying one of these new AL box miners. Instead, I'm going to use it as an example to explain a much less spoken about crypto mining strategy. So listen up, because you actually might learn something new today. And just remember, nothing in this video is financial advice. Now, most mining strategies require a great deal of patience. They involve a long process of slowly building up bags of crypto, diversifying your farm, waiting for hardware deals, optimizing your mining rigs, profit swapping, and waiting for coin prices to go up over a few years, to then finally sell it all at the right time to lock in your rewards after years worth of effort. Now, that is the tried and true, and when executed properly, safest route to slowly build wealth over time using crypto mining. But what if that isn't for you? What if you're in a hurry to get rich? Well, in life, there is no surefire way of getting rich quick. With high reward always comes higher risk. But that said, if you are willing to take on that higher risk, then getting miners like this new AL box might actually be the avenue to go down for you. Because we already know this thing currently makes an absolutely ridiculous amount of money. So in this video, I'm going to lay out what the risks are, and then it's up to you to make your own prediction on how likely you think those risks are to play out and what your expected timeline for them to happen would be if they do. Alright, so let me give you the lowdown of this miner. As of recording this, it is currently making just about $100 a day in mining rewards. For reference, after power costs, you would need 900 GPUs to make that much money mining the same coin. Now, keep in mind, this $100 number will fluctuate naturally hour by hour. That's just the nature of crypto mining. So if it's gone down or up at the time you are watching this video, that doesn't necessarily mean there's been a massive profitability change between me recording and me posting the video. That's just natural, profitability fluctuations. So if profitability stays at this level for this miner, that means it would only take a bit over 3 months for it to fully pay itself off, after which it would bring in $3,000 a month of pure profit. Or if you bought 10 of them, they would of course still pay themselves off just as quickly, but after that they would be making $30,000 a month. Plus there's also the possibility of you holding all that mined crypto and the coin price going up like 10 times in value, which means it's like the miners paid themselves off in less than 2 weeks, and then each single miner making you 30 grand a month. Now, this is of course just the dream scenario, which is extremely unlikely to play out. Let's just be frank about that. You see, for the reasons I'm going to lay out next in this video, profitability is very likely to go down for this miner, probably quite aggressively too. But the only question mark is, how fast will the profitability go down? And that's unfortunately a question nobody will be able to answer, because nobody can tell the future. And that is why I call this the high risk, high reward mining strategy. The high risk is of course that this is a very expensive miner with a lot of potential threats to its current profitability too. But the high reward is of course that if you are quick enough, you might still get enough days mining with this thing to make an absolutely insane amount of money, and quickly too. By the way, if you want a real life example of this mining strategy working out, 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗧𝗏 here on YouTube just posted a video about his incredible success of buying the very first batch of Kaspa ASIC miners when they were first introduced last year. And let's just say he ended up doing really well for himself from that, even though at the time everyone said those miners were way too expensive and that they would never stay profitable enough for long enough to be worth it. But here he is a year later, having done very well for himself from that. Now, am I saying that getting this new AL box is another guaranteed win like that? Absolutely not. I'm just saying it's a similar situation. His Kaspa miner play was risky then, and this is a risky play now. Again, high risk, high reward. It worked out really well for him that time. It might not this time. Or it might. It's up to you if you are in a position where you are willing to accept that risk and want to use that kind of mining strategy in the first place. Now, there are mainly 2 relevant factors that affect the mining profitability which we need to look at for this miner. The first one is coin price, and the second one is network hash rate. Of course, mining profitability is highly dependent on the price of the coin you are mining. That's because you are getting your mining rewards paid as a set amount of coins for the crypto you are mining. And if the price of those coins goes up, so does the dollar amount of your daily mining rewards. Or in other words, your mining profitability increases. Now, I am absolutely not a market analyst or an expert on coin project evaluation, so I am far from an authority when it comes to predicting if a coin price will go up or not. All I can say is, if we look at the previous history of the whole crypto market, and again, past performance is not indicative of future results, but so far the crypto market has always as a whole worked on a 4-year cycle, where a massive price increase and bull run usually starts after the Bitcoin block reward halving. And guess what? Bitcoin's block reward halving is today as of you watching this video, meaning if history repeats itself, we are about to see pretty much all coins increase significantly in value over the next year and a half or so. So, while Alephium's coin price going down significantly and therefore crashing the profitability of this miner is a risk factor, I would say that is probably not the big risk factor here. In my mind, most likely the opposite would actually happen here, where the coin price would actually be going up and therefore increasing the profitability. At least if you are looking a bit longer term, like a year or so into the future. But the big risk to the profitability of this miner is the network hash rate. Or in other words, just how much mining power is on the Alephium network. Or more exactly, how much mining power there will be on the Alephium network in the near future. This is because most mineable crypto projects, Alephium included, have a set amount of coins they pay out to miners each day, and all miners on the network have to share in those rewards, and they are divided fairly between everyone based on how much mining performance or hash rate each person is providing to the network. So right now there is about 500 terahash of hash rate mining Alephium, and this new miner from Goldshell does about 360 gigahash. That means right now there is the equivalent of about 1400 AL boxes on the Alephium network. That also means that if Goldshell is producing and shipping another 1400 of these miners within the next month or so, network hash rate will double and profitability will be cut in half a month from now. That is of course unless the coin price were to go up during that same time. Now you might think to yourself, well, that's not too bad if it happens like that. I still get one full month of making $100 a day and then a slow decline down to $50 a day. That still means maybe 4 or 5 months to break even, and then it's just pure profit after that point. It's still pretty good. And yeah, you're not wrong, but there's one more thing we still need to take into account, which is other manufacturers might also release Alephium ASICs. Now, people have been saying Bitmain will be coming out with an Alephium ASICs for a really long time, and maybe now when this Goldshell miner has been released, Bitmain might finally make their move and drop an absolute beast of a miner for Alephium. Or maybe they won't. Or maybe they will, but it's actually not ready yet and won't ship out until like 6 months from now, which, let's face it, it wouldn't exactly be uncommon for Bitmain to do something like that. Again, we can't tell the future. And one more thing is that there are of course also other ASIC manufacturers, like IB-Link or maybe even IceRiver, which also could be coming out with Alephium ASICs too. Again, it's most likely not a question of if other ASICs are going to come out and massively increase the network hash rate and therefore also massively reducing the profitability for this new Goldshell AL box. No, it's most likely just a question of when that will happen and how fast the rollout of those miners will be, and if you'll have enough time to stack enough profits with the AL box before then or not. Of course, that is exactly what we've been seeing with Kaspa over this past year. The first generation of miners made an absolutely ridiculous amount of money in the first few months, but as more and more ASICs were announced and shipped out, it was then a pretty steep decline, and while pretty much all Kaspa ASICs are still fairly profitable today, it is of course nowhere near the insane numbers from the first few months. Now, there are actually two things that does speak in the AL box's favor when compared to the situation with the first ever Kaspa ASICs from last year. First off, Kaspa has a really aggressive mining rewards emission schedule, where every single month the amount of coins paid out to miners is reduced by 5%. Alephium, on the other hand, has a much more intricate block reward system, where, yes, it does decrease slowly, by 66% over the first 4 years to be exact. However, it can also actually increase to incentivize more hash rate to join the network up to a certain point. It's actually quite fascinating how that all works, and what I'll do is I'll leave a link to a short article explaining it down in the video description. The second thing that speaks in favor of this AL box when comparing it to the first Kaspa ASIC from last year is that there are yet to be any other ASICs announced for Alephium. Because when the first Kaspa ASICs were announced last year, they announced both the small KS0, at-home miners, as well as the KS1 and KS2 big boy ASICs pretty much at the same time. And the Bitmain KS3 followed very shortly after. So far though, we're actually on the second batch of these AL box miners, and there's yet to be any other Alephium ASICs announced. So what is the actual takeaway here? Basically, you have to use your own best judgment. If you're in a financial position where you are able to take the risk of buying one of these miners, then it might pay off handsomely for you. It all comes down to if you think this miner is going to stay profitable enough for long enough to be worth it. What I will say is the current time for these miners to pay themselves off is extremely short at just over 3 months. And even if we see a rollout of these miners to the point where that would be extended to like 4 to 8 or even 12 months, that is really not bad at all compared to most other things that are on the market right now. And that's of course at today's coin price, not taking into consideration if you think the coin price will go up over the next year or so. Of course, I always have a tendency to be optimistic and excited about this kind of stuff because, I think mining is awesome, so take that for what you will. Just know that this is an expensive miner, and there is a risk here that it might never make all of its money back. Or maybe it will, and plenty more. Perhaps this is exactly your mining strategy, to hop on all of these high-risk, high-reward miners as they come out, with the thinking that even if most of them never quite make all of their money back, you just need that one that really takes off, and that will then more than make up for all the other ones that didn't. And if that is your mining strategy, or if you've weighed the risks and feel confident giving this miner a chance, then please at least minimize your risk by buying it from a trustworthy reseller. You guys already know I work only with Coin Mining Central in this regard, and that is simply because they are the only reseller I know I can 100% trust will always take good care of you if there should be some sort of issue. And if you are going to get this miner, they actually have an amazing price for this AL box compared to basically all other stores at the moment. And if you are quick enough, you might still be able to get an additional $625 off if you use the code ALBOX500 together with the link I'll put down in the video description. Now that is a very time-sensitive code though, but if you tried it and you were too late, don't worry, because Coin Mining Central actually also gave me an exclusive code just for you guys that will give you $225 off. That code is 𝗧ALBOX, and that code isn't time-sensitive. Of course, if you are going to buy the miner, don't wait too long as it can still sell out because supply is very, very limited. Just know that if you do use those codes together with the link in the video description, the channel here does get a small commission at no extra cost to you. And those commissions are a big part of how I'm able to keep making videos like this. And in return, I'm always going to do my very best of getting you guys the best possible discounts that I can. But to wrap this up, this is an expensive miner, so please know what you're getting into if you get it. But if you've decided that this miner isn't really for you, then I'd recommend you instead watch this video next, where I talk about the different mining hardware purchasing strategies that there are. Or this video, where I explain why Alephium could realistically hit a coin price of almost $9 next year. Alright, I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.